Jeff, welcome to the show. Glad to have
Hey,
you
how
here.
are you? I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm interested to have this conversation partly because before we hit record, you mentioned that you're in commercial and now you're involved in residential company too. And it's not too often you hear people going commercial to residential. Usually people get sick of residential and want to go commercial because it's easier to some extent, right? Every business has its difficulties, but in terms of clientele, it's often difficult on the residential side, and it's not an easy industry to own a business
No.
in, to say the least.
Yep.
So yeah, I'd love to know, kind of start back at your experience and what brought you to this point where you are today.
So I went to school for architecture. I graduated with an architecture degree, and I happened to move from Boston to Atlanta, and I started in the residential side of things back when I was younger, running an architecture department for a big home builder. So I had that feel for the residential from the start, whether it was building houses, condos, that type of thing. And I've always enjoyed the residential side of it. Then I learned how to do land development, and I started to do land development for about 10 years through the residential side of things. And then I got to the point where I just said, I want to go out on my own and try this on my own. I had learned from a great my mentor in the industry, Bob White, who owned Venture Homes at the time, taught me all about total quality management processes. And so I really decided I can set up my business based on those models. And that's kind of what I did. I started building commercial office condominiums. I developed a office concept that you could sell to small home builders. The units were about 1,350 square feet. They were flex space, so you could link multiple together. And I did that up until about 2017. And I happened to meet up with a guy that was local in Connecticut that spent more time remodeling. And we just kind of hit it off, and we said, let's open a business. And we decided, let's start out with residential. Let's do 60-40. We were trying to figure out where our strike zone was in terms of commercial versus residential. But I think when we started out, we were doing about 40% commercial, but I think COVID really pushed us into the residential almost full time now, which we find, it is more difficult. I think it is because we still dabble in the commercial office condo market. It is a little bit more difficult because you're dealing with people's houses, you're in people's houses. But we found that the margins can be a little bit better in the remodeling industry for us because we feel like commercial is set, and you're going up against bigger companies. And we just found that there was more profitability in residential. So that's kind of how we stuck to that. But we also thought we could bring a different set of business tools to our customers, such as, we do, instead of just sending our customers to pick out their granites, their countertops at all these different sub locations that they pick out. That's what people do up here. We decided to accompany them on all the different appointments. And then we started to raise the level of service in the industry. And that's kind of been our niche, that we offer a next level of service when you're doing a remodeling project, because we all know remodeling can be overwhelming and all the different selections customers have to pick out. So we walk them through all those appointments. We help them pull the whole package, the scheme, the color schemes, picking all the materials out, all that stuff as part of our service. It's just what we offer. And it's really set us apart because most companies around here do not do that.
So are you doing design build, or are you just helping with selections as part
Or
of it?
selections? It just depends. Sometimes we do design build because of my architecture background. I can do some things like that. But right now, mostly it's just helping them with selections, but really accompanying them and actually pulling the whole design together. So it really, it comes together and gives them what they exactly want.
Okay, so a few questions coming up. Hopefully I can remember them all. Let's go back a little bit to the office condo. So I'm a little interested in that because it seems like commercial slowed down for you anyways, which makes sense when COVID hit. But I would assume that there's a lot of office buildings that are just sitting there now. So are your office complex, are you taking offices and turning them into condos? Is that what?
No, we developed from ground up. We're currently working on one now. we were taking one of the projects that we're doing now. We were literally just started when COVID hit. We were in the engineering process. We already purchased the land. So we just had to keep going on it. And we're starting to see now it's starting to really, we're starting to have a lot more sales. Ultimately, it's taken a little while. I think through the COVID experience for us, we figured that most small businesses were still going to the office. The bigger corporations, the big corporate offices were slowing down and people were moving out, but the small business owners were still going to their office. And so we felt comfortable going forward. And it's been great because we've seen that it's all coming back where the small business owner still wants to buy a small office. It's a benefit, they get to buy an office, they get to pay their mortgage, they're paying themselves, they're not paying rent. And then they have an asset at the end if they want to retire when their business is, when they decide to shut their business down or sell their business, they have an asset with it.
Yeah.
So it tends to, we're seeing that the smaller office right now has been more popular.
So yeah, that makes sense. And personally, I've always been a fan of working from home. We were talking before as well about just efficiency. So I just try to eliminate all the inefficiency in my life, and driving is one of those things.
Right.
So, but not everyone likes that or has the ability to do that or lives somewhere where they can do that, right? If you have 4 kids running around and you need to go and focus on something, having an office is extremely beneficial. Or if you need to meet with clients in person and you need a professional space, and absolutely, I see a lot of benefits for that. In a business. So that's great to hear. And because you're doing offices, that's different than like brick and mortar stores trying to sell stuff, right? It's a completely different world.
Yeah. And there is a nice benefit doing the commercial. It's less personal. So it tends to be a little bit easier. You're not working in someone's house. So, I kind of have the best of both worlds right now where our remodeling business is really strong. And then this office condo development is starting to really take off. So there's benefits to both of them, but we kind of like to dabble in both because I think there's ways to be successful in both.
Yeah, you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket as a business,
Right.
especially these days, right? So
Right.
That's great. Now, how do you work your pricing on the residential side? Because you're offering more of a service, is that included in your prices? Are you doing, I know a lot of contracts include us, we're doing cost plus, and we have different levels of service depending on the client. Or are you just doing fixed price and saying like, look, here's the price, but you also get A, B, C, and D sort of thing?
Yeah, ours is fixed price. It's built in. That any of that service is built in, and that's been our niche. That's been when we price stuff versus other people. That's one of the biggest things we use to tell people that, hey, my price might be a little bit more expensive, but this is what you're ultimately going to get. This is how we're going to work through the process. You're going to have better communication. You're going to have all that stuff. So it's a selling point for us. I'm not getting every job, but I don't want every job. So ultimately, if people choose us, I feel like they're choosing us for our service and our quality. And I think that alone helps us grow the business because our word of mouth, referrals is, I don't advertise other than doing social media, and we get most of referrals from it's from word of mouth of past clients.
Fantastic. There's a service. Actually, I think they're just in Canada, so it might not work for you. I was just going to say I had an interesting conversation with a company. I haven't tried them out yet, but they set up a referral based service for service companies like ours, where how if you were to refer somebody to like Airbnb, you'll get a credit, but then the person you referred also gets a credit.
Yeah.
So they implement stuff like that, so you can start rewarding your clients, but they kind of manage the back end of it. And the way the referral works is you set everything up, and they get a credit card, right? So like a prepaid MasterCard, which is super interesting. The company's called Lacorum. Haven't like interviewed them or anything, but it was an interesting conversation. So mention it because it might be something that you're interested in. I can send you that, but we're going to try them out, see how it works. And it's a way they manage, staying on top of everything, right? Because referrals are great that we get work through referrals as well, but we're doing on larger projects. We find there's not, if we're building a custom home, not everybody has a bunch of friends that are building custom homes.
Right. Right.
So the referrals come in, but not as often as like just doing kitchens or bathrooms. And we're not taking on projects like that where we are the type of work that we do anymore.
But I love the idea of, setting yourself apart from other contractors with just something like that too is great. I mean, that's kind of what we try to do, I would,
Yeah.
I would definitely be interested in that type of program. So,
Yeah. I'll send you that info.
we try to do different things like that as well. Uh, we personalize we give every client a gift at the end of the project. And we try to personalize it. So my guys, the project managers are kind of tasked with paying really close attention to the house itself and what is going on in the house. Like we just finished a big kitchen here recently, and my project manager's like, the husband absolutely loves hot sauce, and he just has a thing for hot sauce. So we literally put together a gift basket for her and a gift basket for him, and his was all hot sauce.
Nice.
We try to add a personal touch at the end of the job when I go out and walk all the jobs at the end, to make sure the quality is what meets our standard. And we always give them a gift, and people are surprised that we're doing that. I think it's just be something that we do all the time. I always have people ask me, why don't you put your logo on it and put your logo on the baskets or whatever you give them? And I want to give them a gift. I don't want to give them a marketing piece. So I don't put any branding on any of the stuff we give them. And I think it's more personal that way. Because I don't know about you, but I don't want to receive a basket with some company's logo on it. It's not.
Usually don't keep that stuff, right? Like you're not going to put the glasses out with the other company's logo on.
Right. Yeah. So we keep it generic, but we try to personalize it to each homeowner. If they have something unique about what they do, if there's someone that loves hunting or something like that, we'll give up a unique gift thank you gift at the end for the opportunity.
Yeah, that's great. My wife helps us organize all the gifts. We usually do Christmas gifts, and Etsy has been a great thing to personalize gifts, right?
Absolutely.
So they'll make, she's found some great stuff through there. So that's great to hear though, because those are things that are important, but often get pushed aside because they're not prioritized because everybody is so busy.
Yes.
And it's easy to say, I'll do it later and then forget about it, never get around to it, and not really understand the impact that could have.
Yeah. And then, what we do after about 3 weeks or a month after the project is done, we send out a handwritten postcard, just thanking them for the opportunity again, just to kind of stay in their conscious, so they'll see just a handwritten card from us about a month after the project's over. That's just one other thing we try to do, just to keep our name, keep our name being a little different from other contractors is kind of our goal, because I think it helps us stand out.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, what are the biggest challenges that you're facing right now in business, and whether it's the economy, anything, right? What's something that's kind of top of mind that you and your partner are looking to overcome, and what are you doing to overcome them?
I'm starting to see a little bit of a slowdown in the calls that are coming in just over the last couple of weeks. So I'm trying to focus on getting a little bit more process oriented again, and really starting to focus on not wasting trips to different locations, having our guys get to the job, stay on the job, not having to run to Home Depot to buy something or anything like that. So we're really trying to tighten up our processes and really see if we can streamline things to see if we can generate some cost savings and overhead and stuff like that. In terms of what we're seeing, I feel like it's been pretty steady in terms of the economy, but I am seeing a little bit of just a slowdown. But it could be the almost summer slowdown. I don't know. Where we are, you have these periods where right when school's about to graduate, it slows down, and that's kind of where we are right now. And then it'll pick back up, and then right around Labor Day, it gets a little quiet again. So there's standard kind of ebbs and flows of the business, and I think we're in one right now. So
they pick up again and they say, can you have it ready by Christmas? Right?
Of course. Of course. Yeah. Everyone wants it so fast. Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's a good point. We've definitely seen a little bit of a slowdown on our end, but I feel like the leads that are coming in are definitely quality leads. Like you're getting more serious people, but fewer people reaching out, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, tire kickers. There's not as many tire kickers. Yeah, I agree.
Less tire kickers. And I had a conversation with I don't want to call him a competitor, but another contractor in the area we touch on, because there's more than enough work for all the good contractors, right? And we were chatting the other day on the phone, and he was saying that his team now has to actually sell, right? Before they were so busy, they were basically just taking orders, and the work just kept coming in. But now they're feeling like they actually have to get back to selling again. What she's like, I'm okay with. It's good, keep us on our toes.
Yeah.
But that's business, right? It's up and down, and that's where we're at right now.
Yeah, I mean, we find when we go out and do the kind of the exit interview with the client that it's really that besides our processes and the way we communicate with the clients is they just love our guys. So for us, it's about hiring the right people. That's one of the first things clients will say to us is how incredible all your guys are, from our employees to our subcontractors, everyone. And so we're very conscious of making sure everyone is, has a nice shirt on, they look the part. We provide trucks for everyone. So we want to have a professional look to us. That's another way to differentiate ourselves from other contractors. We're very professional looking. And I think that's one of the biggest compliments we get is it's about our people. And that's just a part of the hiring process. You find when you go through trying to hire people, right away when you meet someone, like, are they going to fit in? Is it going to be more of a family vibe? Are they going to get along with the other guys? And we hire based on that more than skill, because we know we can train people to, have skill sets. So, but I think that's another way to set yourself apart, is just having really good people.
Yeah, super important. I've actually released some other podcast episodes talking about just that, because I say the same thing. Super important to make sure that the team, you have the right people on the bus. What are you doing to find those good people? Because you always hear complaints from companies saying, "Oh, there's not enough workers out there. I can't find good labor." What are you doing to attract the quality labor who wants to work for you?
So we do a lot of social media. We do our professional social media where we're doing testimonials and showing our work, but we also do fun videos with our guys and our employees. And most of the people that we've hired over the last 3 years have come through either seeing our videos and seeing what kind of teamwork we have. We do a ton of stuff with our guys. We'll take them on fishing trips. We go on hikes, a couple of company different parties, events. We'll go to baseball games. We try to create a really good team atmosphere and a family atmosphere. And so a lot of that gets shown on some of the videos. If we're doing a hike, we're showing a video of it. The last 4 guys we've hired has seen our stuff on Facebook and said, I really would love to work for that type of company. I haven't had to go and put an ad in the paper or try to hire. People have been coming to us, and I truly believe it's because they see what kind of atmosphere we've built, as a company, and kind of a culture that we've built. And that's reflected on the social media. Some of our social media is funny and like really fun stuff. Like the last one we just did, I don't know if I can swear on this, but it was just literally called shit talking. And we had our guys just joking around, and it turned out to be one of our better videos of the last 6 months. But just that kind of fun stuff. We did a New Year's resolution where everyone kind of talked about their New Year's resolution, and we let people have fun with it, and it really reflects the culture. And I think that's been our biggest driver and why people have wanted to work for us.
Yeah. Relationships are super important. Like, you're obviously working on that for your clients. You're working on that with your employees. Are you doing anything with your trades too?
Oh yeah, we do. Anytime we do any of those events, our trades are always invited, whether it's our electricians, our plumbers, our suppliers. We're constantly bringing them into the fold. Especially the fishing trip, we go out there with like 20 guys. We rent a boat, and 5 or 6 of them are our trades. And it's a good way to create camaraderie, but it's also, you'll be sitting next to someone fishing and, hey, how can we solve this problem? So there's a way for some of the kinks that happen out in the field to maybe get ironed out. If you get the plumber and the electrician sitting next to each other, they can have a conversation and kind of figure out some of the things that are potentially issues. Hey, look out for this next time before you run your pipe. It's going to affect how I'm running this outlet. And so those events also help with the subcontractors working together as well as your employees.
Now, do you pay for all those events, or do you just organize them and cover your team and your subs pay for that? Like, what are you doing for yourself?
No, we pay for everything. Even when we go on a company hike, we go up to New Hampshire, we'll rent a vehicle and we'll spend the whole day. We pay for everything. The guys get paid for, it's like a vacation day. They just don't have to work. They get paid. And then we take care of all the expenses for anything that we do.
Fantastic.
it's just an added touch. People appreciate that. They want to, they want to feel wanted and feel appreciated. And that's what we try to do.
Yeah. So great to hear. I want to come work for you.
See?
Like, yeah. So, all right. What are you most excited about then? We just talked about challenges a little bit. What are you excited about for the future, whether it's within your business or within the industry?
You know what? We did a home show up here called JLC Live, and it's in Rhode Island, and I'm excited about all the new materials coming out for decks. I just think there's like the decking. We do decks as well, and the decking industry itself is starting to really evolve into so many different brands. We're AZAC and Trex certified, but there's so many other brands that are coming out with so many unique products that I think it's very exciting because there's so many options you could roll out to customers. If you have a customer that's wants to be a little bit on the lower end budget, they have, there's composites that will work on their end. And then if you want to go with the high end decks, there's higher end composites. So I think the industry for decking is just starting to, you can see all these really great new ideas coming out. Like we just looked at one when we were at the convention that they put water on it, and they had it on a slope, and you could walk up that with your shoes and not have a problem. So they're coming out with products that can be around pools, and won't be slippery. Like it's just, there's some unique stuff coming out for the decking industry.
It's good to hear because, originally we only had Trex, and then there was AZAC, and then like, they're just so expensive, right?
Yeah.
So it's good to hear that there's other competition coming out to kind of challenge them and to open up the opportunities to the clients a little bit more. Now, are there other products that or I guess any products that you would typically recommend on your projects that you really love to work with? It could be anything, right? Because I know you're doing a lot of different types of renovations. Is there anything that just makes sense for your projects?
Yeah, so we do a ton of kitchens and bathrooms, and we've partnered with a company that's local to us that actually makes, and I don't like to use the word semi-custom cabinet, but they build the boxes of the cabinets, and then they buy the doors. And so it's not a high end, you're not spending a full custom cabinet, but it's also nicer than a box cabinet. And then what it does for us is it allows the customers, if it's a painted cabinet, that they can pick any color that they want in any Benjamin Moore, Sherwin-Williams. They can pick any color. So it gives people a lot of flexibility with colors and options of doors, but yet still in a really good price point that most people are comfortable. I want to say it's 8% or 10% more than a box cabinet, but there's so many more benefits of that because you can customize it, and he's making it to fit that kitchen. So we've seen a huge push in our cabinets, gone from, some box cabinets to now it's all this what he calls an MDF brand door. But it just gives you ultimate more flexibility, and the customers love to put their stamp on it with painting it their own colors. And it gives them another choice. So we're really excited that this is kind of becoming a part of our main pitch when we're selling kitchens and bathrooms, this product, and people we're getting really great feedback on people that they can customize it. So that's been a nice little bit of a change in the cabinet industry for us.
Amazing. And you also have a roofing company, right? So you've started to add another service. So curious to know a little bit about that, but also how do you manage your time? Because I know a lot of people, especially operators, they can be in there, they can get so busy. You're obviously putting a lot of attention to detail to a lot of different things. We're talking about what you do for your team. We're talking about what you do for your clients. These are all things that add up, but then you've added another layer where you're also doing a separate business altogether. Just like we have to treat it as a separate business, right? So how is that going? Why'd you do it? And how do you manage your time throughout a day?
So we were literally during the COVID period, while we had so much downtime, we were just coming up with ways. All right, how can we diversify? How can we have another income stream come in? Not only just an income stream, but another way to get us in the door, get our name out there. So people now are driving by and seeing TruNORTH Roofing versus TruNORTH Construction. It's just branding, right? Just constant branding all over. So we set it up in a way that really it's self-sufficient. So I have a sales guy that does all the sales. He does all the estimates. He orders the materials, and we sub out our roofs to one contractor. So it's kind of a self-reliant. We don't have to put too much overhead, too much time and effort into it. It handles itself. I don't really have to touch that job too much, other than if there's, say we pull the roof off and I got to put all new plywood on, and then we're getting involved, right? Then we're doing change orders, and then we're having to do different materials and stuff like that. But it's really become a self-sufficient wing of our business that kind of just produces by itself. It's not something we were trying to grow and compete with the big companies up here, because you got guys up here that probably do 500 to 600, 700 roofs a year. We just wanted 25 to 30 roofs a year, something that we can get our name, use it as branding. It's just another opportunity. So if I do your roof, now you're going to maybe call me for your deck, and then maybe you'll call me for your kitchen. So it was just another way to brand for us and create a revenue stream without putting tremendous amount of resources and overhead into it. That's what our goal, and it's worked. It's been couple of years now, and we average in that 20 to 30 roofs a year. And so that's
Nice.
exactly what we wanted to do.
And your salesman and estimator can make an offer. Like, are they based on commission, or are they getting a salary?
He gets we give him a flat salary fee, but then he gets commission based on any job that he sells. So
Nice.
the more he sells, the more roofs we do. So
Amazing.
yeah, it's worked out really well.
Right on. Well, Jeff, this has been fantastic. Before I let you go, I'd love to know if there's any parting words of advice that you have for our listeners.
I would say the most important thing I always tell people is that, I think we touched on it, is relationships being the most important thing. Our slogan is the most important thing we build is relationships. Whether it's relationships with your clients, relationships with your subs, your employees. If you cultivate and you nurture those relationships, it shows in your work. And ultimately, those are the things that are going to get you referral businesses, because people see that how you treat your guys and how the guys treat each other, and then how you treat your client. And that's the special sauce for us. That is sets us apart from other companies, is our relationships with all those different avenues. So I would say focus on your relationships.
Fantastic. That's some great wisdom there. And if people want to get a hold of you, where's the best place to go?
It's TruNORTHConstruction.com. No E on True. That's our website, and we're on Facebook and Instagram. It's the same thing.
And what areas are you serving?
We're in Connecticut.
people are looking for work? Okay.
Yeah, we're in the middle of Connecticut, kind of near the Hartford area. We have about a 50 to 75 mile radius, which we service.
Right on. Jeff, it's been fantastic. Thanks so much for being on the show.
I appreciate the opportunity. Good talking with you.
Thanks for tuning in to this conversation with Jeff Sawyer. Did you know that on average, year after year, over the last 10 years, electricity has gone up by 20% across the US? If you live in the US and you want to beat the utility company at their own game, I have partnered with Apricot Solar and Freedom Forever to save you thousands of dollars. Because of high tax incentives and solar decreasing in costs by 50% over the last 10 years, there has never been a better time to add solar to your home. If you're interested in seeing if your home qualifies, you can head to theconsciousbuilder.com/solar. And don't worry if you don't have the money up front. As I mentioned before, there are great financing options that can get you solar for $0 up front. Once again, that's theconsciousbuilder.com/solar. Until next time, I'm Casey Gray, and remember to live consciously.